Hi everyone. In this video, I'll try to give you a brief idea about data types in SQL. Now, I think we have spoken about data types in SQL, so I'll not keep this video much longer because there are so much data type available in any of the databases like varchar, nvarchar, blob, like a lot of types of data types, right? But I will just give you a brief idea about it, that the 3-4 data types that we are going to use in our course, in our curriculum. Now in this particular course, only majorly these 4 data types that we are going to use. So I'll just briefly give you an idea about these data types. Now if you see this employee table, we have created this table already in our previous videos. Now employee number, that we have given a data type called number, right? First of all, what is data type? We need to understand this point also. Which kind of data will be entering into this particular column, which kind of data is allowed in this column, right? That we need to learn. Apart from this type of data, no other data will be allowed in this column if I try to insert, right? So now for example, in the employee number column, the data type is number, and then we have 4,2. Now what is the meaning of 4,2? 4,2 means that it will take 4 integer number and 2 decimal places. Till 2 decimal places it will accept the value, right? That is the reason we have given as number 4,2. This is for the integer portion, right? And this is for the decimal portion, right? After the comma you can just specify till which digit you are allowing it. Then we have a varchar 2. We have a char data type also, right? We have also a char data type available, but majorly in Oracle SQL we use varchar, that is variable character, right? Varchar 2 is a data type. Now what is 10? 10 is the size, is the space that you are giving it to it, right? So employee name, it accept varchar 2 data type, and what is the size? It will take 10. Now if you want to increase the size, definitely you can increase the number. You can say 40 if there is a South Indian name, or if there is a big name. So you can definitely enter this 40, and then the size of this particular column will be increased to 40, right? And what is the meaning of variable character? Variable character, it's quite beneficial for your saving of your storage, saving of your memory. How? Because if you go for a char, right, if you go for a character data type, that means if you have given, for example, 30 bytes to store, right? Now even if you have not stored a name longer to 30 bytes or 30 character, it will occupy all the 30 bytes, right? It will occupy all the entire space, even though if you have not used it. But the benefit with varchar 2 data type is that you have given the 40 space, but this employee name contains only 20 only 20 bits or 20 bytes or 20 characters, right? So it will only use 20 characters or 20 byte ka space. It will not take the other 20 byte ka space, right? Now what is date data type? Now date means this column will only accept dates. All right, this column will only accept dates. And what about integer? Integer means that no decimal places will be allowed, no decimal numbers will be allowed into any of the column. Only the full number will be allowed to that particular column. All right. One more thing to take into consideration is that when you are inserting the value, into a particular table, if it is a varchar, that value must be quoted into the single quote, and if it is a date, that value can also be quoted into a single quote, right? I'll give you a example for this. Let me show you the insert statement, right? What is the syntax? Insert into employee, that is your table name, and you have to specify a keyword called values, and then you have to give your employee ka number, employee ID, employee number, and then you have to give it your employee name. Since it is a varchar value, since it is a varchar value, you have to quote it, right, into a single quote. Your job is also varchar, you have to quote it into a single quote, right? Now salary is a number, so there is no need to quote it into a single quote, directly number is allowed. Now when I'm trying to insert a date, right, I have used the function called toDate. I have used the function called toDate. Now what is the meaning of toDate? Right, toDate is a single row function. We'll talk about single row functions separately, but just for time being, I'll give you an idea that if you're trying to insert a date into a column, you first of all you have to specify the date into a inverted quote, into a single inverted quote, and then you, after the comma, you have to specify which portion is for date dd, which portion is for I can say 01, and which portion is for YYYY. I may have a date where I have DD and YYYY. The date is in the month date and YY format. Now in this case it has to be 01, and then date can be 23 and year can be 1982. So when I'm inserting a date, I have to specify which portion is month, which portion is date, and which portion is year. Right, so for that matter, to specify everything to the database, you can use a toDate function. Now without toDate function also you can insert a value, that's not a problem, but sometime it may happen that you have a date in MMDDYY, in DDMMYY. So it is always a better idea. It is always a better idea while inserting the date, use a toDate function, give your date, specify the format to the database so the database can be clear which portion is to be taken as month, which portion is to be taken as date, and which portion is to be taken as year. Right, this is your date, and this is why we are using date data type. Right, you can see that it's a date data type, and integer I already told you, and that it takes the number. Right, so majorly this data types we are going to be using in our curriculum. Apart from that, there are a lot of other data types also, but this is sufficient for your understanding for this course. I hope you understood the concept. Thank you so much for watching. Happy learning.